What's up, people? Y'all ask some crazy questions, man. Some real crazy ass questions. I got a gift today, though. Calvin Klein joint. Cover. Somebody bought me. Calvin Klein. Little joint. I appreciate it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna lean on it right now. That's cool. Yeah, y'all asking me some of the craziest questions. When I put up Esoteric Future, it was for y'all. It was really a personal class. I shouldn't have did it. It was for Soul Futurists only. But it was for y'all to get ahead and let y'all in on certain things and see how y'all can see how deep it is, you know what I'm saying, or non-deep or whatever. But I can't answer the questions y'all asking me about your solar taps or where y'all go. The whole moral of everything was just to invite you into yourselves, into your you, and become a person who follows their own thoughts at sometimes. And you get your little space and you astral project out and you do your own thing. And you tell me what you see. You tell me what was there. And then now we galactically talking. We're universal, we're galactical friends. We're not talking about nothing secular or mundane or that's here on this planet. So the day y'all wanted to hear from me, all week, I was chilling. I was trying to let it soak in. But y'all just want to hear something. And I'm telling you, on that topic, I just let y'all in there. That's not going to be nothing ongoing. I'm going to do a part 2 to break it down a little more. Because I know, try to facilitate it. But there's not too much I can do from there because it's about yourself. You go out and tell me what you saw, and then now we can have a conversation because it's something else that you do. You're in a world, that deals with outer beings that we all trust. One of the great philosophers, Greek philosopher Plato, said it is in every man's desire, his heart. He has a desire to want to know. This was in Plato the Republican. And that's true. And everybody feels they talk to God or whoever, they feel it's a higher power. And they go through it and you talk to them or whatever. I'm just being upfront about it, teaching you how to project out to it, what mood to be in, and go and get answers. And I'm telling you that there's answers available for you there. And you will come back speaking in enlightenment, not a knowledge, not education. You won't be smart. It won't even be logic. You'll just know what you know. You understand? Seek and you shall know the truth. So astral projecting is seeking. And like I said, you get questions answered there. You don't you ask what you want here. You get it, put it in you what you want. The questions asked. Once you get there, it's not like you have to ask. You come back fulfilled with everything that you need to be fulfilled with. And that's just what I share. And there's many children, man, woman, that's in that vibration, that understands that I speak, and then they listen, and then it was just nothing to believe. I asked you not to believe me, and once you can grasp that concept of not believing me, because you're so used to having to think because somebody speaks from an authoritative seat or with a dictation that he's asking you to believe him. I'm just sure about what I'm speaking about. Don't believe me, you go do your research or whatever you have to do. Check out the information I'm saying to see if it add up. I'm telling you a lot of my information won't add up because it's not in books, because I'm no longer a bookworm. I've read everything I need to read under the sun. And when I say I read everything I need to read, meaning that won't crack my cranium, because there's so much more that I could read and so much more that I can begin to learn and know. But what I learn and know won't have to actually be what I'm about. I'm just learning and knowing about this other stuff. So I urge people to get a foundation with Soul Future or whatever it is you're doing before you go astro, projecting and doing all of this. And please, y'all, stop asking me about people that y'all seen on YouTube or Instagram. Did you see this girl? Did you see this brother? Do you know this witch? She's teaching this or this or that. Yo, this brother I watched, he said this or this. That's y'all confusion. You stay in your confusion. Don't invite me into your confusion. I don't need nobody. I do what I do. People who is not sure, they're searching. That's why I said when you search like that, of course, brilliant women and men have written down some of their projected thoughts and some just wisdom and logic and their life experience. And it may fit, it may work. It may not be garbage, it may be something good. But it's not mine. It's not coming from me, and that will inspire me. Then I will go through my whole life being inspired by school, education, books, my mom, your dad, or whoever, your big brother, or whatever. You're inspired by these people. Your teacher, your mentor. But when did you sit down and think? What did you do for yourself? When did you approach any of the gut feelings that you have? But that's where it's at. It's all in the gut. Your teacher is in your gut. Your teacher is your gut feelings. And your first thought. That's your true teacher. Your gut feeling and your first thought that you usually get, that you say, damn, I thought about that, but I ignored that. Should have did the first thing I thought of. So this is about y'all, bombarding me with a few questions about the solar information, the esoteric future. That's about you when you get there. It's not about right or wrong. You just got to now describe to me what it is you saw, what you feel about it, and what you're gonna do from there. And then we have that conversation. That's a galactical conversation. You understand what I'm saying? It's an off-earth, non-secular, non-mundane conversation. And that's where I try to get, beings in Soul Future to be, because knowledge is tricky. Historical, I always ask, what the hell is a historical fact? Something that a European wrote in, or a French man wrote in, or a Greek wrote in, or the powers to be wrote in. Historical facts. History has a day that it started. American history. Is it planetary historical facts? Is it outer galactical historical facts? What kind of historical facts is it? The historical facts pertaining to your capturer, and when he started jotting things down for you to believe. There was a date for that on the timeline. Just like you have a BC, before Christ, Addo Domina, you have periods of time. You have a Palean period. You have an anthropology period. You have different periods of time. So when do quote-unquote historical facts start? If you really knew anything, these people kept calendars only to date events. You have to look way back for this. The America calendar didn't have dates on it. It was just to document events that they were going to do. Then they contributed the calendar to a pope of theirs called Pope Gregory, that put you on a calendar, gave you your astrology, and took away your, if you want to say you're from the Mayans calendar and the Mayans astrology, and they took away that astrology and took away your count. And the Mayans may count 18 months a year and 20 days in a month. Now you get here and you're born here under, so-called captivity, and you're counting 30 to 31 days a month, 29 days in 1 month, 12 months in a year, you know what I'm saying? And it's always the 7 principle. 7 archangels, 7 angels of death. That goes down to the educational system of A, E, I, O, U. Sometimes W and Y. That's the hidden 2 that will make 7. And the planet is run on that, and the 3 vibration, the Father, Son, Holy Ghost vibration. So you're really not on your once you look at the Pope, the calendar, and they tell you this contributed to a Pope called Gregory, and you look at his nationality, who he is, he got nothing to do with you, but the brown person, or the so-called black man, it has nothing to do with you. You have to understand that you're a ray from out of the sun. You have to understand the light bearers and who the devil is on this planet today. Okay, the devil on this planet today is God. So you have to come out of all of this stuff you learned through knowledge and through, listening to the conscious brothers and the conscious sisters and the soul sisters and all these vibe movements we got going on. Panthers, Marcus Garvey, Nation of Islam, thousands, hundreds of others, has all been defeated because you group up in nations. Black Lives Matter movements, none of it is working because the minds of the people are not changing. No one is changing the people's minds. People are just getting along and going along with groups because it represents a certain kind of black power, so they trust. But you're not really being enlightened. You're being educated. You're being made smart. But now, like I tell you, water is smart. You got smart water, smartphone, smart television. So smart ain't what you think it is. You have to be enlightened. You have to have wisdom. You have to go through life and let life and experience be the best teacher. And sometimes not read everything, because you people that keep reading everything before you set your own foundation, you're going to stay in the state of confusion and the state of wanting to know everything. And anybody that wants to know everything is going to learn real quick that you can't know everything. Because even myself, the greatest thing I know is that I don't know nothing at all. It's too much to know. Well, it's too much to learn. I know what I know. And anytime you go and figure out what you're doing, and you got something that you stand for, and you accept it on a higher realm, and your God speaks to you or whatever, and this is what you feel and what you know, anything after that, you can step out of that and you have your foundation now. You don't have to step anywhere and be confused. Read the 7 laws of attraction and say, oh wow, this thing is pulling me this way. Read some African book and say, oh wow, because all that's going to be smart and enlightened stuff. But you'll stay confused if you never went and made a foundation on what it is you want to do. And when you step out of your foundation, everything else you read or come in contact with that has something to do with knowledge or history, it's just things that you learn now. And you can either add it on to you or just learn it and keep it to the side. But those are things you learn. Who you are is what you know, and you should know yourself. And that takes you into the I principle. You got your I principle, meaning me, when you got to the astral realm. And you begin to serve yourself as an individual instead of in that one unit, which you are one unit. But the principle of individuality took over in the Luciferian realm. He taught you to say, I, self, am Lord and Master. He taught you to be the one. He offered you will. He offered you willpower. He made you curious. And curiosity is one of the worst things you can be going into this thing. It's curious. You have to vibrate on the positive side of the battery, of the atom. That's it. You understand that in this realm, that if you look at a battery and you want to charge anything, in order for that battery to come into potence, it has to have a negative charge and a positive charge. Am I right or wrong? So when you go put some batteries in, you line up the plus, positive, you line up the negative, or else that battery ain't gonna work. Try to just put in the positives, the negative side. It won't work. Try to just put in the positive side. It won't work. Although, in the realms of electricity and things built, the positive side won't work by itself because it's the whole science is being introduced off the atom, positive and negative, knowing that's how you charge things. So that's how they build things. When we know for certainly, because we have a planet that we didn't introduce the negative side of the atom to, it's only the positive. And there could be no negativity there. But in this plane, batteries and stuff and everything was constructed because you have both sides introduced to this plane of the atom. You have both sides, positive and negative. Once you deal with that, protons, neutrons, and things of that nature, positives and negatives, you deal with all this first. And then when you step out into the world from what you know, you will understand that they're using this negative energy that will be, and they're painting a man, they're painting a deity on it called devil or Lucifer or Satan. Although there are negative beings that manifest out of darkness, just like you got beings that manifest out of the light. You have real life manifested Luciferians, devils, Satans, yes. All right, but they're just doing their job, and you have to understand, and I'm going to get into that before this program is over, to show you how to completely defeat Lucifer, or completely defeat the devil, or completely defeat Satan. 3 different characteristics. Right now in this plane you have the Armand. Armand is a high-seated devil, or Satanist, or whatever, or demon that's working side by side, contacting Lucifer, for Lucifer to prepare souls to bring to him to devour. And they want to take over this whole plane together. And this is what you see now, from Afghanistan to police killings to this transgender thing, women wanting to be men, men wanting to be women. You're seeing obesity, you're seeing strange weather patterns. You're seeing a lot right now. And if you're seeing all of this, you're seeing the devil. And if you think God is not the devil, then by now, then you have been really bamboozled and behooved. Because God is the devil. The God of the Bible, the character that they introduced us to, is the devil himself. The devil is the head of all astrology. Is the head of all astronomy. Is the head of all black magic. Is the head of all music. His name is Pan in the music industry. He's the head of all knowledge and history and historical facts and the inspiration of, he's the inspirer of all Vedas and everything that we even talk about that has greatness to it. Tablets, text, pyramid information, hieroglyphics. He's the inspirer of all that. He is that great and that intelligent. Now let's go to the Bible. If you think I'm praising the devil, no, I'm just teaching right now. The Bible will tell you in one chapter that he was a beautiful angel. They even got a little chapter dedicated to how beautiful he was. He was so beautiful to look at. He was this musician. He played the flute. Hello. And because he could no longer do vibration, rhythm, and tones on his own, so he duplicated instruments to do this. And that would be called music. What we deal with on the positive side is vibration, rhythm, and tone. This is why when you go to meditate, you find something serene, tone. The earth bowl of Isis that they call the singing bowl. That would be the earth bowl of Isis's girlfriend, who tried to contact Isis with this stroke of fertility. It's the fertility bowl. We'll get into that if you need to. But the devil, or Satan, or Lucifer, music, Hollywood, acting, and things of that nature. So many things he's in control of. But he can't be in control of wisdom, and he can't be in control of enlightenment, because all intel comes from Mercury. Our planet is Mercury, and they rape Mercury. They go in and excavate Mercury and paint beings and say these are, take the Mercurian beings and offer them into this third dimension as beings of their own. Christ or Allah or this or that, and duplicate these beings. But we send up from intelligence from Mercury as the blood to the human project was donated by Saturn. And you have Saturn, you have the sun, and then you have the moon, which was dark, void, and desolate. And this is pre-information before the gods of your Bible said, let there be light. This is what was going on before they said, let there be light. You had Saturn beings, which were just swirls, just patterns, just energy. And they swirled and they patterned and they made energy, and they created a warmth. So when you say we're warm-blooded people, we're tropical people, man, we come from the universe. The reason you're warm-blooded is because that fluid, that blood, was kindled in Saturn. And Saturn gave way to the planet, the sun planet, and donated its time and energy and resources to the sun so that the sun can have a shine or light. And in return, the sun took its light and reflected on the void and dark moon. And once the sun shined its rays, or his children, or projected his children into the moon for the moon to carry. Let me go back. You have Saturn, you have the sun, and you have the moon. Okay? You have Saturn. Just imagine balls of energy, spiritual beings of energy, swerving. That's what we look up when we see the cosmos working, creating the blood fluid for a project, for beings who came out that I taught y'all about that wanted to continue to move forward. And then gets involved the planet sun. Saturn donates light or energy source to the sun in the blood for its children. And then in return, the sun, or the rays of the sun, reflects its rays onto the moon. Meaning the sun rays are the babies. It hands the moon its babies for the moon to now not be void and dark anymore, because the sun is giving it light. And it just becomes moonlight. The sun was the one thing feminine in the three. It was the feminine principle. The moon was the feminine planet, was the less masculine planet, because it wasn't running, it was void. But when the sun rays shot its babies into it, gave it life, just like a woman doing all wrong, she get pregnant and she gets real serious. Oh shit, I'm pregnant, I can't do nothing. I can't smoke, I can't do nothing. I gotta carry these babies. This is all happening celestially. This is from them patterns, they swerve them patterns into you. Is why we do what we do. So when the sun, in return, shine that intelligence, that brightness that Saturn bestowed upon it, and reflected his babies and reflected his light on the moon, you have moonlight from the sun rays. And the moon carried those rays, carries the sunlight, or those sun rays or sunlight to the earth. And at that point, someone said, let there be light. And that woman, that feminine energy, that feminine principle, gave birth, let's just say, to Adam. Let me try to make it simple. To a man. So in this story, the feminine principle was first, but it could not do nothing until the arrival of the man, the card man, through her. So all kings, all queens, all kings, whatever, going to rise through a woman on this plane now. You can grow up to be the biggest god in the world. If you're on this plane, you came through the existence of the moon. The moon reflects the sunlight down to the planet Earth. For the physical to start forming now. For that king's throne to be built. And once the planet hardens, that's the throne. That's his throne. The earth is your throne. And we continue to build thrones. That's the Game of Thrones. But it took the moon to reflect the sun's light. The moon ain't had nothing going on. Feminine. Ain't got nothing going on until we sparked it. But we wouldn't have been able to go on with our project if the moon. Now don't think of man and woman. We're just thinking of solar cosmetic events. Because the moon was lesser masculine energy and was dark and void. Once the sun shined his light on it, and destruction, the code was for the moon to reflect its light back on the earth. The moon knew to say, let there be light. So in life you have, again, you have Saturn doing his thing. And when Saturn reflected its energies and things towards the sun also tried to reflect something back to Saturn. Now, just like I told you, the sun shot its rays into the moon, and the moon accepted it and reflected it. Saturn didn't need it. So when the sun in return tried to reflect its light or intelligence on Saturn, Saturn swallowed it. Swallowed the rays. because they didn't need it. They didn't need to take it and bounce it off and reflect it anywhere. It reflected nowhere. It's like when it rains, the earth can either keep the rain or they can give it back. In other words, if there wasn't a such thing called mist, if the rain didn't turn into mist and then resurrect and go back up to the stratosphere and then recondense and come back down, then the whole planet would flood. So you got mystical beings. That mist is the mist of water. What do they say water is? Spiritual. Right? They say water is a spiritual thing. Okay? So when it rains water, the earth returns the water. Saturn, in return, did not return the sun rays. It swallowed it and took the blood of those ray children and gave it back in a fluid form for that project, for those other rays. When they went into the moon, the blood was donated by Saturn. Saturn swallowed the babies. Thus, in this world, you're going to see high groups, I'm not going to say nothing else, repeating this ritual, sacrificing children, swallowing children, because Saturn swallowed the ray children from the sun. Not beings, it's all energy. So in life, to show you how they're duplicating this, I told you, you got Saturn, you got the sun, and you got the moon. What are their days? Saturday, Saturn, Sunday, the sun, and Moon Day or Monday. That follows each other like that. They're just copying this stuff, building the world. So once you know, back to what I'm saying, once you know that the devil is just on post, doing a job, meaning, imagine how the devil may feel if he just has a post in this earth, if he just has a job to do. So remember that three principles. Those were similar to the three archetypes that I showed you that came out. And this was the plan. This is how the plan went into effect as they kept doing things in space and moving and moving. It all happened cosmetically in the cosmos with all those swirling colors. That's why in their life, when you go to makeup, right, it's the cosmic makeup. What is it called? Cosmetics. And when you get all these different color lipsticks to cover yourself up with, and swerves and all that, that's us. That's living organisms. Those are beings. If not beings, formations. Until they formed into beings and then into the physical. Y'all understand that? So that the three was the principle of the vibration for this planet. Other planets don't have that vibration. So Saturn, the sun, and the moon has to mix and mesh and bring forth personalities. And when you get here, the same thing happened in a part of space, building Earth or creating Earth. These three combined in a certain point in space, because the Earth sits in space. And these three combined, and at the proper time of them swirling and meshing, it's all energy. These are, sometimes they show these big balls of energy and all of that. And then at a certain point when it's ready, when we want to put a time capsule over this planet, the moon said, I'll pull out to help out with time. With the night. And then the sun pulled out and hovered above what was to be the earth to represent the other principle of time over this planet. And Saturn was the kindler, the warmth. It's the warmth you feel. This is what we love warmth for. That's why we get cold. We don't really like cold. We go on these quick trips cold. We want the sun back. We want that warmth. We want to be kindled. Saturn stayed with all the other beings that were elements to kindle the planet and kindle the elements, and for the sun to send its beams to cook the elements, for the colds to go on through. So you're hearing a lot of ancient so-called facts that, yo man, the moon was once a part of the earth, or the sun was once a part of the earth. But it was no earth at this point. It was those beings all participating, doing what each one does. Moon doing what it do, sun doing what it do, Saturn doing what it do, but just by these principles for this sphere, because this sphere was a three-dimensional principle. And I'm teaching you the three principles: Saturn, sun, and the moon, the woman. Now in Saturn, the beings got held up because they swallowed the children. They got held up in evolution, and it was cool. So they call certain Saturn beings retards, but they're great beings. Don't get me wrong. They call the devil, but you'll say that you'll hear that he was a teacher, taught all the other angels. He was this beautiful person in a certain part of the Bible. Oh Lucifer, oh Lucifer. The God thought he was so much of a warrior, or he can get the job done, that God put Lucifer against the devil, against his best man. He said, look at the book of Job. Haven't you considered my servant Job? He's perfect. This is God talking. God of the Bible. So y'all believe. He's perfect. And the devil said, yeah, that's only because you're walking with him, man. He got money, he got cattle, he got women. And God said, nah, if you strip him from all that, Job won't hold up. And the devil said, well, let me try. And the God gave him permission to attack the devil. So what are y'all talking about? I'm sitting here telling you that God did that in another place. He hired the devil as a security guard, as an attacker. That's what he did. All throughout the Bible, when you see these beings, you see the angels talking to Lucifer. Hey, Lucifer, why have you failed? They say, oh Lucifer, why have you failed? They don't say, there you go, we got him, grab him, or nothing like that. Nowhere throughout the Bible do you see that. You see conversations with him. He ran up on Jesus and tried to tempt him, remember? And Jesus said, man, get behind me. So y'all believe in the Bible. Jesus ain't called for the motherfucking troopers. Yo, we got him. He's right here. The only time I heard in ancient Egyptian tablets when they said they trapped him in the pyramid for 1,000 years, or they had a plan to trap him in the pyramids for 1,000 years, and then he would have to be released because it's energy. And he was given dominion over this planet right in the Bible. The devil will rule the earth for 6,000 years. So if you're not going by your Mayan calendar, which you're not, which had 18 months in a year and 20 days in 18 months a year and 20 days in each month, and we're off of that, and we're on a Gregorian calendar, a European Pope Gregory's calendar, and I tell you that they begin with their calendar by marking down events that were to happen. If something was to happen, this is the first day we built a ship, or events that were supposed to happen in America. Not really dates. That came later. When they hired, so-called mathematicians or their wise men at that damn time to begin recalculating your zodiac and taking the enslaved ones or the less empowered people or the slaves to be off their calendar and off their whole vibration. So if we follow the Mayans and we know we're from the Mayans, then how do we know the devil 6,000 years is or not up? And I tell you, it's not up. He's reigning, he's ruling the earth. But who has the power to say he can rule for 6,000 years and then his time will be up? But someone who hired him to do his job. And that's us. The ones who knows who he is and don't get mad at him and then duplicate the energy you say he has by being that mad at him. He has a job. Let me give you one example and you'll get it. You'll get what I'm saying right from this example. You have a girl, picture her, nice girl, black girl, white girl, whoever you all have you want to picture her. She's about 30 now, 35. All her life she has been the nicest woman on the planet Earth. Everybody that knows her talks high of her, can't think of a bad thing she's done. She gets offered a job because she now has a baby, and she gets offered a job as a correction officer making, high up money because she got to take it in a faraway prison. And it's close to $90,000 a year, whatever it is, the incentive is there, so she takes the job. By her third year, she realized that her whole niceness has to change because of her job, because she's been hired to do something that's going to require a little more force now, and I can't be this nice guy. Follow me. Remember, the devil was an angel. He was great. He was beautiful before his countenance dropped. Remember this. Remember this girl. But she got hired to do a job. I just showed you the devil got hired by God himself in the book of Job. Jesus told the devil himself, get behind me. Go and do your devilishment. Go and do you. You're the negative side of the atom. Why are you not doing good? Why are you not doing negativity? So anytime the devil comes to you with a smile, you got to know it's a trick just by learning that. Because he has to do his devilishment. Y'all understand that? So this girl has to now be tough because she's dealing with prisoners that say, you bitch, I'll rape you, you try to write me up. She got to turn around and be Miss Hardass. Now imagine niggas that had to do 15 years in the prison with her, get out and write books about her. They're going to call her the devil. They're going to say that evil bitch, all they seen her was evil. She cries every night that she got hired for this job because she was a music player. She was a scientist. She taught all the other angels. She taught all the other girlfriends. Y'all get where I'm going with this? But she got hired to do a job, and if these men escape, they're rapists. They'll kill your children. So she got to be hard. The devil is dealing with beings that's calling him the devil. You motherfucking human beings, that white man, that created being is the worst thing out there. Ain't nobody worse than the created being. And I'm talking about from the acts that he did to put someone in slavery for 400 years if we buy this. To still rule the world, to have as many tricks, to have as many murders, to have as many wars. That's what you find in history. You find what your capturer is bragging about. And y'all go to history to see all those murders and lies? For him to teach you that in history, how he warred here and took this. You got information that he robbed the natives. You just notice why, because it's historical facts. Look at these historical facts. Don't just go into history to educate yourself about African shit. Look at what he's telling you he did in history. And this is the history you still accept your African knowledge from? History was written by this man at a certain date to calculate events. And he's going to lie about it. He's going to say what he wants, change timelines and everything. So imagine this girl, people running up on her now and say such and such. You know, you're being called the devil or such and such and such and such. And her girlfriend's got to say, no, she ain't no devil. She's nothing wrong with her. That's what the angels are saying. Damn, Lucifer, you was the shit. What are you doing? What I'm telling y'all is, if you know this, he's pretending because he got a job. Think about the tough guy that's pretending. And y'all blame that bitch-ass nigga, but he had to bluff his way through. You got to know he's a joke. Look how Jesus handled him. Laugh. Get behind me, Satan. That's that. Go and do your devilishment. The negative side of the atom has to be. And once y'all realize this, black magic, none of that will get you. They have to get you to submit to all of this stuff within your imagination, your fears and your job, and throw you off and back and forth to work and bills and cover you up in this world with cell phones and ads and applications. And they got to confuse you. Y'all understand this? So the moral of this is how to beat the devil. To know that he exists. You're so futurist. Do you believe in the devil? No, I don't. I know the negative side of the atom exists, and negativity has to be negative. It has to do negative. But one thing negativity can't do, it can't do what positivity can do. Positivity, or the positive side of the atom, could rock alone in peace. And that's what y'all going for in your universal bowls. That's what y'all going for in your meditation and your candles lit, your incense, preferably frankincense and myrrh, because that fights off any kind of naughty, evil, vibration coming your way while you're doing this. And that's all it is. It's getting into your vibration. Your own vibration and clearing away from people. And you get into that vibe. And when you travel astrally, you're going to see the security guards, the Luciferians, the devils. You're going to see them and just know it has to be security. Negativity cannot rock on its own. Only positivity can. Positivity puts you just in a warm, calm space. It's not radical. It's not sporadical. It's not spontaneous. It's just calm, peaceful, and relaxing. But negativity will run wild. Negativity has so much force and energy that it runs wild. Has no calm factor. Think of a person going crazy. A madman. How many people had to come back and tell you about when they was angry they made the wrong decision? That's the ultimate negativity, being angry. You can't get nothing done out of anger. Being mad, yelling, oh, that's negativity. It can't get nothing done by itself. So in come positivity to calm it down. You just stay loaded with positivity, and anytime you walk around negativity, it will collapse, meaning that positivity has to be, your intentions have to be hidden behind and deep down. It has to detect that you're a true person. You truly, you make sins, you do this, you do that. But if you have good, real good intentions, then you know you wouldn't do this, you wouldn't do that. You ain't no bad person. You know you really doing this. I had to take a little something, but I know I wouldn't have did that if I didn't have to. If that's really true, you know it. So you know your intentions are good. Because you tested yourself. When you had the chance to do bad, you just didn't do it because you was all right. We do things out of necessity. Does that make us bad? Or does that make us use logic? Now we can't overrun with that because we can do things out of necessity that might hurt someone else. We gotta know that's bad. Y'all understand? But negativity cannot rock alone. So you isolate negativity. Remember what I just taught you. Positivity can rock alone. And if you moving in with the right vibrations and the right intentions, no matter what you did in life, we know we're in touch with you. They know the beings who just fighting their way out. They got good intentions. I'm going to keep on to that person because I know what's in that person's heart. We feel it. Once you give up that heart all the way to Satan and go all the way bad, we know it too. And we keep you over to that world. So remember to always stay positive in a negative world. Just stay on the positive side. I'm not saying don't do nothing not negative because you're going to have to because you're in a negative world. That's the logic. But every 5 things you do right, do 15 things. Every 5 things you do wrong, do 15 things right. And don't even let them wrong things be too bad. But every wrong is bad, period. But we don't fool ourselves here. We don't fool ourselves here. We got to work through that to get the higher state to our wisdom come, and we calm down with age, and then we'll be able to practice that better. That's just the truth. It don't happen overnight. All right? So remember that, man. Remember that girl that got to take all of that. And you know she's a nice person. We know she's a nice person, but this is what she had to become. Negativity existed, and negative beings that have to form out of negativity, like positive beings form out of positive, the Christ vibration. And don't think of the Christ vibration as a man called Jesus. Think of it as high architect crystal beings that came and gave the Luciferian race a job, like God gave the devil a job to Job, of negativity to keep the balance. And that's all he's doing. Why do you think Satan goes from good to bad? So if I tell you I listen to the devil and you say why, I say, well, I listened to him before he got hired to do negativity. Didn't y'all say he had good works? He's in music, he's in all of this, and he introduced the wisdom or the knowledge and the historical facts and all that to this planet by way of Shan, Dalai Lamas, and all this kind of high beings that we call gurus and all that. Listen, you're going to get the truth in that because the devil had to come with the truth too. But he just put tricks on the truth. But the truth is there, it's in the writtens. But you have to be invited to it. You have to know. You have to be special enough to have the insight to look at a Bible, look at these doctrines, and separate the truths from the falsehoods. And you can only do that if you're on a high vibration. I do it at will because I've been on a high vibration. I've been exalted past the 3 archetypes I teach you about, on to the 7 archetypes. Some people call them the elves, if you look at Thor version of it. In Christianity, they talk about the 7 churches of Antioch where Jesus would visit or something like that. Look through all the religions and look at the 7 principles. 7-day Adventists, it was 7 principles. So you have 7 Elohims in the Egyptian world, right? And here you have what? Snow White and the 7 dwarfs, but the dwarfs are representing personalities. Happy, sleepy dwarf, greedy dwarf. And these are your archetypes. Some of them are lazy in this world. Now think of you as a quote-unquote African black girl, child of the sun. Y'all making up dances, y'all all nice. It's always a girl that lacks. It's always somebody you got to get in tune with the rhythm. She's a little bit off. Y'all understand that? Same principle that's going. That comes from, that's your archetype that do that. You like to eat, sneak out and be greedy. You got greedy dwarf, one of your archetypes. You understand me? So it's just the vibration that you're being put on. And I say all that to say is, All those gurus, Dalai Lamas, when have you thought for yourself? When are you really going to say, wait a minute, let me get out of all that? All this high up African stuff, this pyramid stuff, the Egyptians, the 7 books of the creation, the Akkadian records, the Pentecost, the Vedas, the solar information, all these is writings, stone tablets and all that, right? Cool. School education, my mother, my father, all of this, right? When did you step out and just think yourself, meditate, contact something, and say, this is what I learned from out there? You never get a chance to, because you're getting bombarded with life. Look at TV channels, look at the flat screen, 900 channels. You don't work, you got to come home, put on their programs. You don't have but your little piece to go to. And that's when you're going to have to ask yourself, who did I give time to on earth? Did I go to the spiritual world more and try to find out where I come from and who I am? Or do I can show him physical evidence that I worked harder on earthly things that I know now not going with me? My job, my paycheck, my 401k plan, all my hours, my BA, my bachelor's, all my awards, even the good deeds. The only thing that's going to energize you is good deeds, but all my awards, nothing physical, my cars, nothing, my children, none of that's coming with me here. And when I'm stripped of all that, the only thing I'm going to have is the time sheet or the time clock of my soul and of God. How much time is in that? How many times did you push that clock? And I'm just trying to prepare people to start thinking about that before it gets too late. And then you'll become a soul eternal person, and you won't be bothered with these things that's going on in life, like Afghanistan and all of this. Look at the devil now, the police shootings, this transgender thing going on that, President Obama signed people into. He signed all these acts of gays and transgenders and being able to get the operation and schools changing their laws. A black president did this, man. Obama did all of this, man. But we here at Soul Future, we want out of that vibe. We want out of that. So if you subscribe to me, if you listen to me, you will just get wisdom. You will be taught to go and listen to yourself and drop books and stop reading and all that, because it's confusion. Because if you haven't came to one foundation, then as you starting to read books, I know you're confused, and you're going to keep coming and bringing that back to us. I read this here, I listen to this guy. We don't want to hear that at Soul Future. We just giving you the reason to outline now why we don't deal in history, why we don't deal in their anthropology, why we don't deal in their Palean periods, why we don't deal in none of it, their texts, their tablets. That is Satan's world. The fallen angels are all there. Until you get on the grass, until you get into natural nature, until you get into the nature of your own thoughts and guiding your own self and going out and getting plants and making peaceful spots and pulling off from everybody and everything and floating out and letting the true and living give you the answers. Let true spiritual beings, true spiritual people help you from your own personal meditation. Then you never gave life a chance. You never gave life a chance. You always took instruction from someone else, be it Bible, Quran, school, college, whatever. Whether it was classified that this is deep esoteric knowledge, whether you got an award for it, it came from somebody else, another author. And that's what I get you to realize. From school, from first grade to college, those are tests that's you having to be fed information, and then all you got to do is turn around now, wave your hand, and still ask questions about what you're being told. And you're going to stay in confusion. So when you get to Soul Future, and I'm teaching you Soul Future, I do not want to hear nothing else from you if you're a futurist but Soul Future. Set your foundation, and I'm going to know the people who's going crazy, because it's going to take a while for you even go back out, even call yourself trying to teach this or trying to do anything with it when you're young in it. And that's what I mean by misrepresentation. We cannot, and I will not be misrepresented. I will not be misrepresented, or whatever that word is. I get heated when I say that. If you're not someone that I sit side by side with, and I know you're able to go because you're side by side with me and you're right there with me to call, then I don't know why you're going anywhere when you don't even talk to me that much and trying to teach it. Just watch it and do. And you have to live it for a while, and I'll know who's able to bring this stuff out, because me, myself, and my soulmate Aisha Torre, we're actually still writing in the doctrine. Every day we're on the phone sketching Soul Future. The products we're going to sell, how we're going to do this. That might take 6 months to a year. We're just on to something. This is what we'll be doing then. You understand that? Hold on. You understand? So yeah, it's gonna take a while for you to live it, for you to feel it. You understand what I'm saying? Unless you just been struck by the straight solar bolt. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't want nobody to believe us. The main thing I don't want nobody to do is to believe me. Let me see where we at. 50 in. I don't want y'all to go believe in me. This is nothing to believe. You have believed your pastors. You have believed school. You have believed in yourself and all kind of stuff, man. Don't believe me. You know, research this information. Read this information. Study this information. Follow me. See what I say, do what you do, and then go build outside of us, and we'll get soul future events. We'll post it, yo, we're going to be here. And we'll just come and show our art, our lifestyle, our plays, our books, our games. It'll be a big soul future day, and you tune in again by invite when we come somewhere else. But it's nothing to join. It's just a mindset. It's a new mindset away from everything I just taught you. If you want to sit back and think about what I just said and rope off, because this is Satan's world. How can this not be the devil's world if the Bible said the devil will rule for 6,000 years? How do y'all know that 6,000 years is not up? Look at the condition of this world today, and you tell me if not this one thing. God is the devil, and you have to be honest with yourself. So you have to get out of the God formation thing and know that, my child of the sun, what you've been feeling is right. There is higher entities, higher powers, higher deities and things, but you're not going to get no God, no heaven, no hell. You're just going to go there to get the answers to why you were projected here, what you should do, and how that you're going to continue to recycle, and that you're a beautiful vessel. You'll learn the difference between created human beings and manifestation, or solar beings. You'll learn the difference between evil and good. And you'll know that it's all actually just one. If the planet is made up of negative and positive, then this is a negative and positive planet. I urge you to stay on the positive side. We do not go against the government here. We do not bite the hands out that feed you. We take advantage of America, and we're not a group that's going to be telling you how bad America is. We are on the opposite side of that. We do understand and recognize the iniquities and the sins that America has done on our own people and many other people. We recognize that by their own admission and their own history. We also recognize that this is a land of opportunity, and we recognize the good that America does have to offer us, since we are here as citizens and didn't board and didn't claim another nationality and leave nowhere. We're here paying taxes, living the American dream. I just teach you that side of American dream and how you can succeed, and that you do not have to sit here and tell your daughter and your daughter's daughter that you come from slavery. I teach you a way to get rid of that and let yourself know you're compatible and you're a child of the sun. Your DNA genetics came beaming through that universe, just like I just explained to you, and you belong here. Render on to Caesar's what is Caesar's, and the laws is the laws, meaning we will not bite the hand that feed us. We will go all the way as far as to whatever state we're in. We will donate to the police of that state. We will not donate to crooked police. We do not back crooked police. We do back police. We're not ignorant group of people that want to go out saying Black Lives Matter, because we don't claim that we're black. We do claim those people, but we're in a distance for those people mentally. And we do not want to be looked at as those people who go out marching and begging for things, who gets up and go to work back and forth with this man and then complains. When you do have farmery, you do have a lot of things right here in America. A lot of parts of this earth needs saving, needs help. There's a lot of ways, if you want to go the money route, to make money through farming, through weaving, through building, through using your thoughts, putting a few of y'all together that's in the same mental mind state, the same solar mind state, and we can teach each other how to move on. Once we settle and try to do this and get into botany and growing things and stuff like that, and science and all that, for whatever reasons, but we want to get into more natural things and stuff like that, like in the earth, and we take care of ourselves. It doesn't cost much to buy 2 or 3 acres of land and mind your business and pay your taxes. And when you send your children out there, let them pay their taxes. But as you grow, you can just mind your business. We don't want to teach too much about what America and what the government is not doing. We feel that you have so many channels out there, you can get that. You are not deprived of cutting on a program and finding out how awful your government or America is out of someone else's mouth than us having to be another group that come out and sound militant, because that will sound militant. We don't have those problems here because we're not teaching our children that mindset. We're not teaching your children when they come here that the black man, that the white man is the devil, that the black woman is God, that we lead up to that. We teach them the beauty and nature of a woman. We teach them how important she is, to appreciate her. We don't teach you no white man is no devil. We rather teach you there's many, many beings out here, white, black, green, or brown. Don't care nothing about that slavery thing. They was really mad about it. They don't want to be depicted as it. They're sorry that white people are their own people. And I've met them and I've talked to them. And it will help you. It's the heart. We teach you to follow the person's heart because they can't cheat you when they're coming from a good heart. You'll know a person coming from a good heart. There was thousands of white people during slavery that left their husbands because they were slave owners, that snuck slaves and freed slaves way before Harriet Tubman. There were white women sneaking slaves out and letting them go, and their husband find out and beating their asses about it. But the white man won't tell you that because he wants to keep you in the form of racial hatred, thinking that the white man is the devil. That day and that time has gone. If you know who you are genetically, you ain't got to argue that. You ain't got to argue that. There's going to be plenty of channels your child can cut on and find out and hear that the white man is the devil. You just won't hear it from Soul Future. We accept white people. I'll just be real with you. We prefer not to mix our seeds and stay within our own race, but we will embrace. We do embrace. We can work with us and anything like that, but we draw the line at any sexual encounter. Okay? We draw the line at that. So we prefer to just do what we do, and if Europeans come over and see our culture and want to buy our culture and want to be a part of it, and to a certain extent they can, because we're not teaching racism here. Okay? You're not going to hear the white man is the devil here. I'm sorry. Go to another channel. You're not going to hear how superior you are, how big you are, how genetically this you are. And when a white man can just say, well, if you're all that, and we kicked your ass and held you slaves, then how smart are we for tricking you, so-called, bright niggers? I mean, so you put your foot in your mouth every time we talk about we did this, we did that first, we did, then why we ain't doing it now? Oh, because somebody else is oppressing us, then that person must be better than us, if you want to look at it that way. So I don't have time for that. I don't have time for the hate doctrine, because your child might have not knew the white man was the devil or anything about genetics or Yaku crafted the devil until he went to get a peace doctrine called knowledge. Until he went somewhere to get knowledge of self. That's when all these groups, these conscious nations, have you debating and Isaac and Jason and this and that. Shit that's in books. Grown men. Look at YouTube now. These are your leaders. You're grown men, gods, each of them. You get on, men are gossipers now. It's men that's bitches. It's men that's gossiping. That's men with these YouTube channels, man. It's men gossiping. Aha, pull up on me, nigga. What's up? Yo, you see Polite got arrested, this or that. Bitch ass nigga shit that you know we weren't supposed to do in the streets or in the house. You don't get no gossip and talk about no other man case and all that. We be like, word, heard what happened to do. All right, boom. Or if you do say something, you got to say something in justice to the person, man. Or you just a gossiper, man. Look at the channel. There's men gossiping now. And men being homosexual. Look at all this homosexual shit now. It's sick, man. And you going to tell me the devil ain't God? Come on, man. Come into your solar energy, man. And y'all will be all right. Apex Solar 1.